Good morning again, Chris. It's great to see you again.
Thank you very much, David.
So we want to talk to you today about farming God's way. It was really neat. I was in Zimbabwe, as you know, last year, and met a woman from South Africa who knew about a ministry called Farming God's Way, and they happen to have work in Malawi. It's God's kingdom is all over the place. And so we were so excited to connect you with Farming God's Way. And a couple of weeks ago, I showed my church family pictures of the crops, and they look incredible. I mean, it was amazing to see. And I told them that you had said God has healed the land. Could you tell us a little bit more about the impact that was made by having Farming God's Way come to Phalombe and to the villages that we're helping there?
First of all, let me say a very big thank you, because as I am speaking, through Farming God's Way, hunger now is being defeated.
That's awesome.
And we had a good time where we trained the farmers in God's farming way. And most of the farmers had the problem of lack of farm inputs, like fertilizer.
Right.
And the moment they underwent for the training, they were very suspicious. Is this program going to help us? They took 2 days training, and after the training, they went back home, started clearing their land, making innovative plans on how they can follow what they learned. And by God's grace, we received enough rain. And all the farmers, they said, this year, we are not going to buy fertilizer. We want to test this. And during the
Because
test,
just to clarify for the church here, Farming God's Way does not use fertilizer, correct?
yes. And they use the methods they learned from the Farming God's Way.
Yes.
And the farmers were used to buy fertilizer. But through God's Way, they did not buy fertilizer. But it was amazing that by using the locally available resources in their lands, using available resources, manure, when they put it in their lands, this year, almost 90% of those people who underwent for the training, they are now food secured.
Wow.
And they are food secured. We try to include the caregivers from the CPCC, looking that this is one of the sustainability plan. We involved them. The caregivers, they have food which can take them up to December this year.
Wow.
Of which in the past, they used to harvest food. They used to harvest maize, which lasted, when it lasted for long, it lasted in July.
So they used to harvest food and it only lasted them through July. Now, with Farming God's Way, they've harvested enough food to last them through December.
December, January, February, depending on the size of their family.
Wow, wow, wow.
Wherever we are going, when we are doing supervision, people, they shake hands, they shake us hands, saying, congratulations, congratulations. This year, you trained 100 people, and we, the volunteers, we are the ones to train other people, because this training is practical. Meaning to say, this is an ongoing. This year, 100 people. Next year, it will be times 100 people who are going to use the Farming God's Way, since it is so beneficial.
So that's great. So we trained 200 at first, correct?
Yes.
And now, with those with the professional trainers, but now the people that are being trained are training more people. So we will see this create more and more impact in Phalombe as it grows, as more and more are trained from year to year.
Yes. And this is very, very great. Now people are eating thrice a day. In the past, it was just 1 meal per day. Now twice a day.
Wow, so 3 times.
Yes.
Sometime.
And the goodness is some caregivers and some well wishers, they are making a little contribution of food to support the Early Child Development Center.
Wonderful. So they're actually donating food now to help the children.
Yes, they're helping children. Instead of receiving aid on daily basis, on monthly basis, now people are feeding themselves.
And now they get to experience the words of Jesus. It truly is better to give than to receive. It's so much better to be in a position where they can be generous than always needing help. Man, Chris, this is just such wonderful news. Church family, I know we rejoice together hearing this, but I also have got to say to you, Chris, thank you, because it's your hard work coordinating. I mean, if it wasn't for a leader like you on the ground that's able to coordinate this work and the training and keep it moving forward, it wouldn't happen. And so we thank God for your investment in the lives there and for connecting us with the people in need in such a vital way.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
But before we go, let me ask you another question. Has there been a spiritual impact from farming God's way?
There is a very great spiritual impact. Just imagine, a hungry person can't go to church. A child who is hungry can't go to church. But now it's just an amazing to see strong children ministry in churches, to see people coming to church just because they have taken food. Where in the past, it wasn't there. Their spiritual life was negatively impacted. But today, people are coming to church in large numbers. There's a large number of people coming to church.
That's wonderful to hear.
People have started loving God.
What's that?
People have started loving God now.
That's wonderful. They've started loving God. Let me ask you another question here. Part of the training has to do with repenting and with not being caught up in like animism and false idols, but only worshiping God, correct?
Yes.
Have you seen people repenting of their false beliefs and turning to God?
Yes. Yes, people are repenting. Just imagine in the past, people were practicing some herbal medicine, believing that once we do this herbal medicine, traditionally we can harvest more yields.
We can have what?
They can harvest more yields, yields, bumper harvest.
Oh, bigger, yeah, more harvest.
Yes. Yes, what they were trying is to seek for the witch doctors to give them medicine, believing that once you do this and that, you are going to harvest the bumper yields. Now it has changed. People now they are believing that this soil belongs to God. These plants that belong to God. Now let's start practicing farming in God's way. And this has helped the people to repent of their sinful behavior, whereby they were seeking for witch doctors to give them false medicine that was connected to witchcraft.
Exactly. So hopefully we're putting the witch doctors out of business then.
Yes.
Wow, that's great. So church family, just to recap, this is just so exciting to me. Through the help that we've given, not only do they have clean water like we talked about last week, but they're now eating not once a day, but 3 times a day. They've got food that doesn't just last till July, but till December, January, or later. Just so you understand, in the past, they would run out of food, and often they would resort to eating things like pumpkin leaves. They just didn't have anything nutritional. So we've got 3 meals a day. We've got food and harvest lasting into next year. We also have people able to attend church, able to minister and be more active. And we have people repenting of their working with the witch doctors and going there and realizing that everything belongs to God, and casting their hopes, their fears onto Him and their dependency on Him. So church family, we're making a real difference, and it really, it's just such an impact. Hey, Chris, before we go, could you give us one thing that we could pray about today, as we're about to have a prayer time now?
Yes, pray for people to be blessed as they are planning to start winter cropping.
Okay.
So pray for health of the people, so that their dream can also be achieved, because they have not yet stopped the farming, they want to invest in winter cropping in their dumbo lands, in their wetlands. So please pray for people so that they should be stronger and go to work in their gardens.
All right, we'll do that. It's time to start planting the winter harvest. We want them to be able to do that and to be able to stay healthy. Thank you, Chris. Stay blessed. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.